about yourself in terms of the Coach of the Year award, but yesterday you said it was a coach's award. What do you kind of describe the foundation of this coaching staff and kind of how they get this team to this point?
Yeah, obviously all the coaches that are here also played here. Coach Gaines, Coach Wiersbicki, Coach Howell, and Coach Riley. Brandon Riley's back. He just got his degree after playing, I want to say 4 years of professional baseball. So I was fortunate to recruit all those guys, coach them when they were here. They all played in Omaha, except for Coach Howell. But Coach Howell, I coached way back in the Coastal Plain League. So just great memories, and now I get to watch them raise their families. They're great men, they're great leaders, they're really good coaches, obviously, and really good recruiters. So when that's the case, you end up having great players and you end up having good teams.
You've said a lot about Vance over the years. Is there anything you haven't said about him to this point?
Oh, man. I think the one thing about Vance, unless you're around him every single day, you really don't know him like I know him. So everybody else just sees what he does on the field, but he does a lot more for our program. He's one of our big-time leaders. He's a great student, made a 4.0 this semester during his draft, quote, year. He's performed during his draft year where you have even more pressure. I would say the biggest thing is that Vance cares about winning the most, and that's had a huge impact on us. You look at the 3 years he's been here, he's had a huge impact. We've won a lot of games, and we're having, our best season as a team since he's been here, which is a big credit to him for sure.
What was it like watching him have that tournament that he had 2 years ago down there and just sort of explode onto the scene?
Yeah, he was hot, wasn't he?
Super hot.
Super hot. It was fun to watch, obviously. The 2 home runs on Sunday were even more fun to watch against NC State. But to see just him continue to improve throughout the year, to see everything him and Coach Wiersbicki were working on from the day he stepped on campus. He struck out at a really high rate early that season, and in the second half he didn't. And he also, had a ton of doubles and a ton of home runs. And that was a big reason we made the run that we made, because of his power and him driving in runs. We hit him in the 4-hole, and those other guys were getting on base, and that was fun to watch for sure.
Obviously, you want to get to Omaha every year, but knowing the players you're going to lose after this season, others that you might lose after this season, is there even more urgency to get it done this year?
What are you saying? We're not going to be any good next year? Come on. You know what? Obviously, the coaching side of you is always planning. You got roster management. You're always thinking of the next team. But if you look at all the new faces we had this year combined, obviously we all know what we're losing. But for me, every team's individual. For all I know, next year we get lucky and we have another great team. We're going to be deep on the mound, but it's about this team, and you want to create memories for the current team that you're coaching. And the more that I coach, the more I understand that every team's unique, every team's different. It's your job as a head coach to try to figure out what type of team you have, and then try to put those guys in the right positions to help that team be the most successful. Because we talk about it all the time. This group will never be the same. We could only lose 5 players, but we still lose 5 players. You always lose somebody. But it's not going to change. I'm going to feel like we should get to Omaha next year. And it's hard to get to Omaha, so I know that. I've been here long enough to know that. And, more and more I'm just trying to get these guys to focus on today. And if we get to that super regional, we'll try to win it.
Scott, ACC tournament is really the only time in the postseason you need 4 arms if you're going to win the championship. How do you kind of navigate wanting to win the games that are ahead of you, but also kind of thinking towards maybe playing 4 games?
Yeah, you definitely have to think about that, but more because of the format, and the higher you're seeded, it gives you the ability to potentially make some different decisions, but you still got to win to get to where you want to go. But we feel like we have it set up. Well, we started Cam Pageant against Charlotte. We started Ben Peterson against William and Mary. Olin Johnson has started throughout the year. So we feel like we have some depth. We won the ACC tournament in 2013, and we went into Sunday against Virginia Tech and had 2 pitchers available. And we started Taylor Cherry, who had 5 innings all year, and we had Trevor Kelly, who was our everyday sidearmer, who could throw 2 or 3. But I feel like we have more depth, and I feel like that 4th starter will be good, whoever we end up rolling out there. The goal for us is just we hope that we can get our 3 starters out there for sure, and then, depending on what happens with the other games, we might push a guy, and for all I know, it could be Aiden Hout throwing in the championship game, but we'll just see how it goes each day.
So if you go into the Wake Forest game already having the semifinals clinched, you would consider saving Shea for the semifinals?
Yeah, we would consider that. We talked about it. Coach Gaines and I talked about it last night. We'll just think about it after the game on Thursday and make that decision in the morning. But he's prepared to start on Friday. DeCaro is starting on Thursday, and Halk will throw his bullpen to be prepared to start on Saturday. But if we need to make those adjustments, we'll make them.
Scott, how does the message for you to your team change at all, if any, when you transition from the regular season that you had and the accomplishments to the postseason that you want to have?
The message doesn't change much, except, hey, we've got a lot of more work to do, and this is why you guys worked so hard to have the regular season that you've had, to be in a good position in the ACC tournament, and also be in a position to play here at Boshamer Stadium. And that was one of our goals. Sometimes you have to go on the road. We did in 2006 at Alabama, but we feel like no matter what, if you put yourself in a position to be at home, your chances are better. But my message to this team all year has been about being process-oriented, focusing on today, don't miss the day, and more about us, this year than I've really focused on that as a coach now. But if we're ready and we play well, our chances of winning are good. So let's don't even focus about the other teams or who's in our pool or who's going to be in our regional, and if we win that, who we're going to be playing in the super regional.
What is the pulse of the clubhouse like, especially with only 3 of your starters that played and won that 2022 ACC championship?
They're excited. This team is confident. They're a together team. I think the pulse is really good. I think these guys still play with that chip on their shoulder. But they also think that they can beat anybody, and that's the confidence factor. You have to have that to win games. But they've also worked, and I think they understand the value of the preparation and the hard work, and also work hard on them. The games, if we're doing what we're supposed to be doing in practice, the games should be the most fun. They should play loose. I don't want them playing tight, because it's today's world. You got all this social media and stuff. So I try to keep them off of that and just focus on having a blast like they did when they were 12, 13, playing in Little League baseball.
Thinking about Vance, this time last year, what he was dealing with, and I was thinking about the ACC tournament last year. I think he was sitting there just handing balls to whoever was hitting BP.
Yeah.
From then to now, and to have him healthy and playing the way he is, just what are your thoughts on that? And it was just so uncertain at this time last year.
Yeah, I knew, but we just were waiting to.
Okay.
We had a little bit of hope, and that was a tough blow for our team. And having a great year, people don't understand that there's a little bit of luck involved from the health issue. You have to. We've had some bad luck and lost, a couple arms. But you look at those teams that went 4 years in a row. If you have some bad luck and you lose a Kyle Seager, Chad Flack, a Dustin Ackley, something like that,
Sure,
an arm. It's hard to do that. So staying healthy is a big part of it. But now him being able to experience this again, it's awesome, because I saw how bad it hurt him. And it hurt him the most because he wanted to win. It wasn't about like, hey, I can't play, draft, all this stuff. It's just like, okay, I want to help our team win. And when you're a competitor and you can't do that, it's hard to just sit there,
With 4 off days between Saturday and Thursday, what does the schedule kind of look like this week leading up to Thursday?
Yeah, we had a great day yesterday. Today is what, Tuesday? Yeah, today's Tuesday. I was mixed up the whole time because of Thursday, Friday, Saturday. We actually came in Sunday. Our strength coach did some stuff with our guys, just some active stretching, recovery, foam rolling, that type of thing. Yesterday we had a lift day for our position players. A lot of our pitchers that hadn't faced many hitters, and a lot of our hitters like Johnny, Jackson, Diggs, French, all these guys hadn't had many at-bats. They faced each other on the field live. So we had a good, productive day yesterday. Our guys that have been starting got in the cages and got good work in. Our pitchers got their work in. Then today we'll have Spray's got a bullpen, and then we'll have a 2-hour like good hard-nosed practice, because it'll really be the only one like that where we can do a lot of defense, a lot of fundamental stuff. Tomorrow we will get up and practice at Charlotte. Coach Woodard, is taking care of us over there, and we'll lift as a team there. Give the guys a little bit of time off, and then we'll strap it on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, hopefully.
How do you balance that kind of practice leading up, but also rest as you potentially play 4 straight days?
Yeah, I think you have to make sure that your practice is intent. You have to have high intent, but you also have to be realistic and know we've played a lot of games, and you don't need to go 4 hours. You want the guys to be continuing to get faster, stronger, and bat speed be good, and velocity be good. So we cut back on our time, but we also focus a lot on nutrition and sleep and hydration and all those things.
Have any of the older guys kind of shepherded some of the guys that haven't played in a tournament of this caliber at the college level?
You know what? No, because we actually did talk about that a little bit. I mean, in 2022, that was Vance's first tournament. In 2006, I told the guys the story of that was our first time hosting since 1989, I believe. And we went in it like, hey, we're trying to win this thing and go to Omaha. And next thing you know, we're in the national championship. And there's something to be said about it being your first, because like you're excited and that these opportunities, Shea Sprague hadn't been this opportunity. D'Onofrio hadn't had this opportunity. So chances are pretty dang good that they're going to relish those opportunities. So not really, just reminding them that we have so much more to do. We talked about that as a team yesterday. We'll congratulate our players that made all ACC and all that good stuff. But at the end of the day, it's about the team and about the team's success, and that's what we'll focus on.
It's time for one more.
What are some similarities and differences you see between this team in 2022 as you kind of look to make a similar run?
Man, I feel like in 2022 we were dead in the water, to be honest with you. I mean, we were in the pit of all pits after the Virginia series, I just remember thinking, man, like, whew, where we go from here, and you have no choice. You have to stay positive and try to make your guys believe. And as Danny Soretti said it after we beat Charlotte, that was either a season starter potentially or a season ender. And we kind of took off from there. I thought Alberto, as soon as big home run against Florida State, got us. That was a big swing of the bat. I thought that team was a tale of really 2 halves. We were really, really good. 3 halves. We were really, really good, and we were really, really bad, and then we ended up being really, really good. I feel like this team's a lot more similar to some of the teams that were just pretty dang good from the beginning and wanted to make a statement. This team reminds me a lot of the 18 team. That team, I don't know if you remember the shirts that they had made up, not enough meat, because everybody said that we shouldn't be a national seed. They're not that good. Luka was banged up a little bit. But that team thought they were good, and they thought they could win. We lost some tough games early. As a matter of fact, I was looking at box scores. We lost at home to East Carolina that year, 0-12. So that was not a fun day. But we got the dog pile here against Stetson. So, I don't think those 2 teams are that similar, except from the standpoint, I do think this time of year that they're playing pretty good and they believe in each other. And I will say that both teams that team started to really lock it down defensively at the end. And I feel like if you look at the second half of the season, we played really good defense top to bottom.
Thanks,